Hello. It's been a little while since I've done a craft video, so I've got a few things for you today. I had an email from Joan a few weeks ago and she asked me if I could talk about knitted collars. So I've done some research and I've had a go at a few, so I want to tell you about them now. So this is the first one. This is a Peter Pan collar which has got a button at the back. So I'll take it off and show you what it looks like. There we go, so it's just got straps like that with a button and a buttonhole at the other end. So for this, you need to start with this lapel. First of all, you cast on 12 stitches. I used 4mm needles and double net yarn, and this is a pattern from Reckless Glue. So you cast on 12 stitches, knit the first row, and then the second row it's knit one, make one, knit to end, and you carry on that row, which increases 1 stitch each row until you get to 22 stitches, and then you do rows 12 to 20 just knit, and that gives you this little half circle. And then you do that all again so that you've got 2, and then you're going to knit right across both lapels so that you've got them together. And then the next row is knit 8, cast off 28, knit 8, and then you can work on one of the straps. So the first row on those 8 stitches is knit, then it's knit 1, slip 1, knit 1, pass slip stitch over, knit to end, and then you'll have 7 stitches, so, and then knit, and then repeat those 2 rows until you get down to just 4 stitches, and then you just carry on knitting until this strap is as long as you want it to be. I don't like anything too tight around my neck, so I made it quite long, but you might want to make it shorter than that. But do remember garter stretches, so you don't want it too long. When you get to the end, you're just going to make a buttonhole. So that is knit 1, cast off 1 stitch, knit 2, and then on the next row, knit 2, cast on 1 stitch, knit 1. Then just knit 1 row and then cast off. So then you're going to rejoin your yarn to the other end, to the other 8 stitches, and you're going to do the knit 2 rows, and then it's knit 1, slip 1, knit 1, pass slip stitch over, knit to end. That gives you 7 stitches. Then it's knit and then that decrease row again till you get down to 4 stitches, and then again just knit until the strap is as long as you want it to be, and then just sew a button on the end and you have your Peter Pan collar. So you could knit yourself several to go with several different outfits. So that's the first knitted collar. Okay, so this is the second collar. This is more of a scarf. It's lovely and warm, done in nice thick wool. It's very, very clever. It's just a rectangle, but it's the way that you stitch it together gives you this lovely shape. So this is thanks to Sarah K. Hartman. I'll take I'll unfold it first of all so you can see that's the sort of shape it is. So I'll take it off and I'll show you how to make it. There we go. So it's like a parallelogram tube like this. So I used 10mm needles and super bulky wool, although you can use 2 strands of thinner wool if you want to do that. Cast on 26 stitches, and then every row is just slip 1, knit to end. Repeat that row until it's 19.5 inches long, or the length you want it to be, and cast off. Now I want to show you with a piece of paper what you do next. So you take the top 4.5 inches of this side and the bottom 4.5 inches of this side, and you're going to sew those together. So you're going to sew it like that. Okay, so that's the top 4.5 inches here, bottom 4.5 inches there, curl it round and sew those together, and then you get that kind of parallelogram tube like this. And when you put it on, you put the seam at the back of your neck, put that on, and then you fold down the top point so that you end up with that sort of shape on your neck. So that's called the Sadie Scarflet, and thanks to Sarah K. Hartman for that one. I will put all these patterns in the comments underneath. Okay, so this is the third collar, which again is just a rectangle, but you put buttons up the side and buttonholes along the end, which gives you this nice sort of crossover. Obviously, again, it's more of a scarf, but if you're cold round the neck, indoors or outdoors, you can make one of these. I've done it in this lovely sort of fluffy yarn. It's chunky weight yarn, 6mm needles, and you need 3 nice big buttons. So let me undo that and I'll show you the shape it is. There, so we've got the buttonholes along the end there, and then the buttons go up the side. As you can see, I ran out of that nice fluffy yarn, so I just finished it off with another yarn that I thought went with it quite well, and of course once it's folded over you can't see. So it's just a rectangle again, like this. This is thanks to Made by Marnie, and yeah, quite an interesting pattern. I thought it was just knit to, purl to, rib, but it's actually a little bit more complicated than that, which gives you these lovely sort of ridges. You can see that better with this less fluffy wool that I used at the end. It gives you the ridges. So you cast on 29 stitches, and then you work 4 rows of the pattern row. So the pattern row is knit 2, purl 2, knit 2, purl 2, repeat until the last 5 stitches, and then it's knit 4, purl 1. So at the end of each row you've got that knit 4, purl 1, which just kind of flattens it out a little bit. So 4 rows of that pattern row, and then it's time to do your buttonhole row. So that's knit 2, yarn round needle, purl 2 together, then knit 2, purl 2, knit 2, purl 2, knit 2, then again yarn round needle, purl 2 together, then knit 2, purl 2, knit 2, purl 2, knit 1, purl 2 together, yarn round needle, knit 1, purl 1, and that gives you some lovely big buttonholes. So that means you can actually use lovely big buttons. I've used 3 buttons that are similar but slightly different, just to make it look a bit more quirky. And then you carry on working that pattern row. So that's knit 2, purl 2 all along the row until the last 5 stitches, knit 4, purl 1. Carry on until your piece measures 27 inches, or as long as you want it to be. Cast off in pattern, and then you just sew the buttons up the side. So you've got your buttonholes that end, and you sew the buttons up the side that end, so that when you fold it over you get that crossed shape at the front. So thank you to Made by Marnie for that lovely neck warmer. Right, so this is the 4th collar. This is much more like a collar. Joan said that she'd quite like a lacy collar, and although it is possible to knit a lacy collar, I really like crochet, so I had a go at crochet this time. So this is thanks to Fun Colour Craft. This is their pattern. I found all these patterns on Pinterest, so if any of you want to go looking for more suggestions, there's lots more suggestions. Yeah, just explore Pinterest. So again, I've made it quite loose because I don't like anything really tight around my neck, but you could make this a lot tighter so that it would keep your neck a little bit warmer. This is double knit wool and a 4.5mm crochet hook. You start with 121 chains. If you want it longer or shorter than that, it just needs to be a multiple of 4 plus 1. And then the first row is just a row of trebles, the second row is a row of double crochet, and then you start this sort of shell pattern. I won't try and explain that. I'll put the pattern in the comments underneath, but for each row you're putting another shell into the top of the shell of the previous row so that you get this lovely lace effect, and then the sort of bigger shells at the end just to finish it off. So there you go. That's 4 ways of making knitted and crocheted collars, and hope it's not too late in the year. Hope we're still going to have some weather that's cold enough for you to wear them. And yeah, take care of yourselves, and I hope we'll all be able to meet up soon. Bye bye.